Hi, this is Annette from tipsfromatypicalmom.blogspot.com, and today we're making buttercream frosting vanilla. I am just making half a batch today because we don't need to decorate that many cookies, but I'll tell you the ingredients for a full batch. You'll need 3 cups confectioner sugar, 1 cup butter, which is 2 sticks, and you'll want to set them out ahead of time to soften. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or you could put a flavored extract in it if you'd like, but I always use vanilla, and then I flavor it later with fresh fruit or cocoa powder or whatever flavor I want the frosting to be. And then 1 or 2 tablespoons of whipping cream or milk, whichever you have on hand. And then, like I said, where I'm just making half a batch, so what I've done is I've stuck my softened butter inside my Bosch, and I'm using the whisk paddle so that it is as fluffy as it can get. So we start off, and I've already beat the butter so that it's all broken up and it will incorporate the powdered sugar easier. So I'm using this measuring cup, which is my favorite. It just slides to the measurement that you need. And like I said, I'm just making a half a batch. So I'm just going to need to have 1.5 cups of confectioner sugar. So we're going to start by putting the confectioner sugar in with the butter. So I'm going to go ahead and measure a cup first. It doesn't have to be exact because you're going to add more powdered sugar or more whipping cream or milk depending on the consistency that you want the frosting to be. So I'm going to turn that on to low. I'm going to slowly add some confectioner sugar into the bowl. You don't want to add it all at once. You don't want to add it all while the beater's going fast because it will just spray all over the place. And then I'm going to just turn it up a little bit. Now it's starting to resemble, well, it's kind of breaking up into pea-sized chunks. And so right now I'm going to add the vanilla, and what I usually do is just use the lid for my measuring tool. And I need a whole teaspoon, but for this I'm just going to do half a teaspoon, so half a lid full. I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of confectioner sugar. Now if you don't have a Bosch or a KitchenAid, you can use a whisk, but I feel really bad for you if you don't have one because it will take you forever to whip it. And you can obviously use a hand mixer too for this. Slowly adding in the other 1/2 cup. I'm going to turn this on a little higher, and then I'm going to scrape down the sides. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I like to keep a paper towel right here to set my rubber scraper on, my rubber spatula. I'll show you what it's looking like here. Starting to look like frosting. I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to scrape down the sides. Now for this, it's looking pretty good right now, but I want to add some of the milk to make it a little bit more creamy, and then I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar to make it just a little bit more thick. So I use the lid for the milk also to measure this. I'll probably just do 1.5 lids for that. And now I'm not going to measure the powdered sugar anymore as I put it in. I'm just going to pour until it looks like the right consistency for what I want to use it for. I want it to be kind of soft because my kids will be using it, and I want it to be able to spread easily for them. And if I was decorating a cake, I would also want it to be pretty soft so that I could spread it on the cake without ripping up the cake also. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Just going to add a little bit more powdered sugar. You can see how it's holding its shape as the whisk goes through it. That's about the consistency that I want it. Now right now I could add some freshly cut strawberries or some kind of a flavoring or food coloring if I want it to be a color. I just add a few drops until it gets to be the color that I want it. If you're going to add fruit, you need to chop it up, and then you need to dry it really well between paper towels before you stick it in to the frosting. Otherwise, it will start making the frosting break up and turn to mush. So you want to make sure that whatever fruit, fresh fruit that you put in to the frosting is as dry as it can get.